Hello and welcome back to my channel and my BX Dungeons and Dragons solo campaign. We are now reaching quite an important juncture in the campaign. We are in recruitment mode. We have already done some initial investigation around the town, and we are now at the point of the crystallization of our hard efforts. Let's see how we get on. So I have a bit of as in previous episodes, I have a little bit of a script to go through. I'm finding that this format is working out very nicely, so I'm quite happy with utilizing it. So to get us kicked off, we are in the Shadowed Helm. This was the quite exclusive in the district, in the Inn and Tavern district, a bit of a rival to the Golden Griffin. It has a quite a unique clientele of probably quite well-heeled adventurers and maybe richer merchants and travellers of a more considerable means. Our adventurers were a bit skint. We went for the middle option. At least we went in the Drunken Dragon, which might have been a slightly more sordid affair. So we've had an eventful day in Freehold, which has seen the characters range across the town, focusing on the town square, the central keep, and now back to the Inn and Tavern district. During the day, the characters discovered information about likely candidates for party members. They are now in the Shadowed Helm and about to commence their interviewing some of the adventurers' residents. They ask Alara if it is acceptable for them to carry on this business in the tavern, and she says it's fine and encourages this kind of networking as it is good for business. So we thought we were better just check on the protocol. This is basically a business or a kind of business arrangement that we're trying to negotiate in her premises. So we clear it with Alara. She's very nice, as we would expect, and we get the rather pleasing information that she actually encourages this kind of what she calls rather strange parlance. We've never heard the term before, but networking must be one of these newfangled things coming out the Western Kingdom. And we think, right, okay, we're on. So we had a rough worksheet yesterday, during the day, from the previous episode where I jotted down some of these individuals that we'd come across. Our notice board: adventurers wanted, fair terms, treasures shared equally, find us at the Golden Griffin. Who could resist a notice like that? Care of Boren. Yeah. So that was the notice. We'll find out the success of that advertising campaign later on in this adventure. But in the meantime, what I've done is I've taken this raw data and put it down into this matrix. And I've currently got 9 individual candidates. I've got their class, I've got their sex, I've got how we were notified of it, and their current location. So we have from the notice board, we had a fighter, an elf, and a magic user, and they have been in the Shadowed Helm, the Golden Griffin, and a private, or I've assumed a master's residence, because this is a magic user. From the keep, we got a very useful clerk of the guard. He was very amenable to our suggestion. He didn't just tell us to go, be off with you, knaves. He actually gave us quite a bit of time, and he actually furnished quite a considerable amount of information. And there had been 3 individuals that he said had come up to the keep and offered their services for common knowledge so that they could be contacted. There was a dwarf, a magic user, and a thief. And one of the dwarf is currently in a private accommodation, probably with an associate or a friend. We do have a magic user in the Shadowed Helm, and we have a thief Now the thief would have been quite, he wouldn't have stated, I'm a thief, you know, here's my card. I think we were going to say he was going to show maybe a bit more subterfuge, and call himself maybe a specialist form of fighter. You know, I do counterinsurgency. That's my thing. And he is currently in the only one that we've found out is going to be the Drunken Dragon. So we might have to hold our noses and go for that. And then observation. We saw a halfling outside the keep, and we don't really know for certain, but he is in the Golden Griffin. And then our residents in the Shadowed Helm that we generated right at the end. We did have a duplicate. We had this fighter, who is this one here. He put himself on the notice board. But we also got a female cleric and a female fighter. So good. So that's all that done. Nicely noted. So we've got that as a little aid memoir that we can use going forward. So the characters appraise their list of potential recruits and target 4 priority individuals they are most interested in. So remember, they've got 4. They've got our 4 heroes. We've got Tamsin, we've got Quinn, we've got, sorry, that's Tamsin, that's Quinn. We've got Hob, and we've got Yorick, fighter, halfling, cleric, and magic user. So ideally, we're after maybe another fighter, maybe a thief, and something that maybe something exotic. So ideally, we're after one. After you know, yeah, as a minimum, we're after 1 recruit, and as a nice bonus, we maybe get 2. Let's see how we get on, and it's all really dependent on what our interactions are with the candidates that we're going to be talking to. And we've boiled these down to the 2 fighters, the elf and the thief. Now, the fighter, one of these fighters, the one that's in the Shadowed Helm, and then there's another fighter, a female fighter, who is a resident in the Shadowed Helm. So they are the 2 fighters that we're interested in. Probably not go for get 2 fighters, but let's see what they're both like. See whether we like them or not. You know, it's a 2-way street here. It's not just a case of them liking us. We have to like them. And then the elf sounds quite tantalizing. We've got a combination of magic and fighting ability. You know, quite an exotic individual. And a thief. So the thief are all the good, skulking around, picking pockets, moving silently, backstabbing, all that good stuff. We could really do with one of these down our dungeon that we're going to be going to very shortly. So they decide to interview the 2 fighters in the Shadowed Helm, and then we'll hold their noses and pop over to the Drunken Dragon before heading back to the Golden Griffin to inquire about the female elf. This sounds like a plan. So they spot the female fighter sitting by herself in the corner. She has spotted the characters, and it looks as though she is waiting for them to approach first. So she's already this lady fighter sitting in the corner. So we're in the Shadowed Helm, just having a quick chat to Alara, who said yes, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just help yourself. Get stuck in as long as you have a couple of beers. You know, that's we got to keep the cogs of commerce turning. And then we can have a nice teal coloured fighter, and she's this lady. So we have a process to go through. And you go, surprise, Brian has a process. And when it comes to NPC adventure determination, because this is currently an NPC just now, we have a little checklist that we're going to be going through and filling out. And then we'll do the actual interview, and I'll have some mechanics there to go through the interview. So once we've gone through one, it'll probably be quite fast to go through the rest of them. But I'm hoping that we can get a bit of fun with this. I'll just get my notebook ready so that we can take some notes. Okay, so what have we got? NPC adventure determination checklist 1, class determined. So we have a female fighter. This is the last one. Fighter, a level, they're all going to be level 1. Sex, determined, female. Name, role on table. So that's our first. So I'll make, I'll say this is number 1, and this is a fighter, female. And I don't need to put level 1 down because they're all going to be level 1 at this stage. Everyone's level 1. It's a very democratic world that we're in. It's going to be a character name. We're going to use this, our old favourite, our character names. We're going to get our dice ready. That's what do we need? And we've got a D30, so that's going to be a D10. So I'll get my D10. D10, yep. D6, so that I can determine the 30. So it's a female name. So what I need to do is determine what it is as a D30. So that is that's 27. No, that's 17. Yeah, because it's the middle area, so that's the teens, and it's Arisa. Arisa. Does that sound okay? Arisa. Arisa. Okay, and let's find out what the surname is, and it's just a bit more of a complication. So we'll do what column it is, column 1 or column 2. So it's column 2, and again we do our D30. So that's a 19. So column 2, 19. Oh, Dragonheart. Doesn't that? Oh, that's good. Arisa Dragonheart. Wow, that's a very fantasy name. I think she's going to be recruited on the spot with a name like that. That's a good start. Next on our checklist, we do alignment. So I'm saying in this case, the split will be 1 to 3 lawful, 4 to 5 neutral, and 6 chaotic. So I'm going to allow chaotic characters to make their appearance here. Now, it's up to the party to decide whether they want a chaotic character in their party. It's just, when we did our initial ones, I was saying that all our party members would be, at the start, would be either lawful or neutral, just to maintain harmony. But we have this option that we can have a chaotic character now if we feel that we can control their motivations. Who knows? And then thieves are much less likely to be lawful, so make it an even split for determination. So we're not at the thief stage yet, but let's find out what the alignment is of this individual, of this Arisa Dragonheart. See what she is. In fact, I should really use my shaker. So she's a 1, she's lawful, good, that's a good start. So alignment, lawful, that's a good start. And what the origin? So if the human, the character will originate from the barony, 1 to 2. So I've tweaked my little table to make it more likely that they're going to come from either the barony or the kingdom, and less likely to come from one of the more exotic nations that round about. So if the human character will originate from the barony, 1 to 2, the kingdom 3 to 4, and the Northlands 5, and east and south on a 6. Now I have a stuff for their non-human too, but this isn't a non-human. So let's roll a d6 for origin. Find out where she's from. So she's from a 4, which is the kingdom. So she's from the western kingdom. Origin, kingdom. Okay, so it's all pretty bog standard stuff just now. She's pretty. And then the bit that we've all been waiting for, archetype. Let's find out what is our archetype. I'm going to circle around it. Get my archetype table out, which is going to. So with the Western Kingdom, I've got this as a feudal-inspired kingdom. Characters is from an established kingdom, a region characterized by rolling hills, dense forests, and well-trodden roads. It's got a hierarchical feudal structure. The society values honor, loyalty, duty, and faith in the established institutions. And the settlements are all your standard fortified castles, walled towns, and magic is guild-based, etc., etc. So it's just your classic Dungeons and Dragons fantasy kingdom. So let's see what the archetype is. And we've got these 1 to 10. So we'll just do a straight 1 to 10. And then it will be modified by the type of class that we've got. So in some instances, we can't have the archetype for the class. So it's a fighter class, so we can have quite a lot of scope of archetypes in this. So we're going to have a 9. Protector, I think we've already got a protector, that's Yorick. It can be a fighter or a cleric. So yes, we've got another protector. Okay. And what is a protector in D&D terms? A protector is driven by an unwavering loyalty to a person, a place, or an ideal. They put themselves in harm's way to defend what they cherish, often acting as a shield for the weak. So we'll do our quick check. One of it is a person, a place, or an ideal. Who is she? What is our primary protection remit? It is a place. It is a place. So she's the protector of a place. Place to be determined. Now, if we recruit any one of these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create, I'll do my, basically one of these for this individual. So I'll do all the extra stuff, which we did on the initial worksheet, remember? We had all these things. And I'll do all their statistics, and I'll do more. I'll do the motivation, defining events, and all that good stuff. So we'll have a bit more flesh on the bones. But at this stage, we don't really need to know all that type of stuff just now. This is more than enough. So we've done everything that we need to do for our character. That's what we know about her. You know, she sounds as though she's quite a formidable individual. Arisa, Dragonheart. You know, it's quite a name that has she got a reputation. She is the protector of a place. Maybe it's the kingdom, maybe it's a barony or her feudal lord or something. Let's find out. Okay, so moving on to the actual negotiation. Each one of these candidates has one of 3 reasons for their current situation. And I've got 1, between adventures and resting, so we'd have a negative reaction modifier. 2, looking for practical experience, positive modifier. And 3, seeking distraction from a past misadventure, no modifier. So let's find out what she's got. And she hasn't had any specific things, like she hasn't put a notice up or anything. So she's maybe just lounging around in the place, and she notices the adventurers come in and she's just caught their eye. Or is she actively looking for help? So she is seeking distraction from past misadventures. So maybe she's just a bit bored. Her last episode that the party was with, it wasn't really very successful, and she's really looking for somebody to, something to pass the time, or she is looking for maybe an opportunity to join another party. So we're not going to have any modifier for situation, so that's okay. And then what we do is we actually perform the recruitment process. Involves the characters making a reaction roll and adding the charisma modifier of the character conducting the interview. So I'm going to have a lineup where we probably have Jasmine, or Tamsin, doing the interviewing, and that's wrong, and the rest of the party providing moral support and probably some interjection of any additional information that maybe the individual that we're recruiting asks in that recruitment process. So we will get a +1 bonus from Tamsin. We'll also get to see what her archetype is, and see whether. So let's just see what we're going to have on the reaction. So her charisma is going to be a +1. We're not going to have a situations. Situations +0 because of the seeking distraction situation. Apply these specific modifiers to this intense negotiation situation. Different alignments, +1 the same, -2 for opposite. So in this specific instance, I think Tamsin is neutral. So she's not going to be the same in this instance. Yeah, Tamsin is neutral, so we don't get any benefit. So we're going to have alignment as +0. If it had been Yorick doing it, he would have got a bonus, but then he wouldn't have got a charisma bonus. Same origins, +1. So we don't really have that advantage either, because Tamsin's from the east, and in Arisa's eyes, she's quite foreign and alien. So we're not going to get any bonus of origin. So origins +0. And then discernible archetype negotiation impact. So this is where we look at our archetype sheet. In this, I've got my little sheets here, and she is a charmer. So if we're doing a negotiation, persuasive, uses charisma to sway opinions, finds win-win scenarios. Okay, so she's going to be very effective in a negotiation. She's going to use all her persuasive abilities. She's going to use her charm and her charisma, so she's going to notch that up. I don't think there's maybe we were going to give her another +1, because see that she is specifically a charmer. This is her bread and butter, so I'll put an archetype of +1 for that. So we do have the option -1 or +1 as being the impact. As a party, they also need to consider what they would offer as an incentive and what variation on standard adventure terms they will stretch to. So this is the kind of the things that they can bring into the negotiation. So we're currently sitting at a +2 from all these modifiers. So they could offer no trial period required. So there's like no probationary period. You're part of our party, and that's it. That's a +1, and that seems to be quite a concession in the eyes of this society, that you just say, yeah, you're fine after 1. Equal shares and fair terms is a +1. So you would have thought that was be bog standard, but this is actually, by offering this this straight off the bat, we get a +1. First choice of anything nice is a +1. And I suppose the final card that you can play, we like you, have an additional share in our first adventure, and that's +1. So these are all the modifiers that we can do. So let's just see what else we have to do in our little our negotiation. They're also slightly hampered. So this is the character party I'm talking about, by not having a definitive objective in mind, only speculation. And this might impact the negotiation based on the individual recruit. So they can't say, well, we've actually got this ruin that we want you to come and help us with, and be in our party. We don't have a specific objective, because we're still trying to discern a place of mystery for us to adventure in. So we don't have that benefit of saying, well, you don't have to do any kind of scouting around to try and find all this information out. We're giving it to you on a plate. This could have given us an advantage. So I'm saying that this might impact the negotiation based on the individual recruit. So Arisa is, let's just find out what her attitude is to us having no information. And again, I've got a D6 resolution on this, where we roll a D6, and I have different responses of Arisa to that. And then it gives me modifiers on the roll. So if I get a 1 to 3, there's not going to be any modifier, and she's no objective. I don't care. Let's go. So that sounds great. A 4. I like to know where I'm going first. That's a -1 to the roll. A 5. I really need a bit more encouragement. So -2 unless more generous terms are offered. So we'd have to maybe raise the ante on the terms. And then deal breaker, forget it. I'm out of here. Come back when you have a serious proposition in mind. That's if we roll the 6. And that interview would be stalled at that point. So if we get a 6, our interview's stalled. unless we can come back with something credible. So we might have to get the old hemlock out and find out where exactly we're going. So let's find out what Arisa, what her kind of attitude is to all this. She gets a 3, so she says, "Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. You know, I'm in. You know, once I'm in, I'm in." So no modifier for the objective. So I can put objective as 0. So that's good. So once these factors are taken into consideration, a score of 9+ is required to successfully recruit a candidate and guarantee their loyalty. Right. We can fail. So a fail of 7+ will allow a further recruitment attempt, but this will need to be performed later, or if the characters up their terms on the spot to attain the 9+, they will accept the offer if a charisma roll is made by the negotiator. So let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's see whether what kind of position we're in. So we're currently got a +2. We've got to get a 9+. So that's quite a difficult score to get. And if we do remind ourselves on my little table of what these things meant, on the social reactions interpretation, a 9+ was interested, considers offer, and is helpful. But anything below that, uncertain, guarded, suspicious, uninterested. So we'd really have to raise the ante a bit. So let's go back to our original little table that said, well, what can we do to spice this up a bit, and give a bit more clout to our negotiation. Do we need? So I think we could say no trial period required. That's fine. Equal shares and fair terms. Fine. Do we want to go to first choice of anything nice? I don't know. That's going to give us +2. So that would be +4. Yeah, I think should we go for that, or do we really want this individual? I think we'll just go for these two. So we're going to offer no trial period and equal shares and fair terms. That's going to give us a total of +4 for Arisa. So I think Tamsin, she says, we're going to offer you this, we're going to offer you that, we're going to, are you interested in joining us? Arisa Dragonheart, with the magnificent fantasy name. Are you going to accept us? So let's find out what Arisa thinks. She gets a 5 +4 is yes, it is a 9. So she says, this sounds great. I'm absolutely up for this. I don't care if you don't have a place to go. I'm sure that together we are going to find something of a mutual benefit. This could be the start of a great working relationship. However, we as negotiators do have a bit of not of a trump card, but we do have something up our sleeve. We can say, if I can find my sheet. It is viewed as convention that the characters can state that they have other candidates to meet as long as they get back within 0 to 3 days. 0 means they have hours to do this. This candidate may have other plans or offers on the go. So what we say to Arisa is, actually, Arisa, we do have a few other people we're trying to speak to, but we are very interested in you. You sound as though you could fit into our party, just like a hand into a glove. Can you give us some time to come back to you? And she says, yeah, I can give you 1d4 -1 to get back. That's what I'm happy with. That's a 1. I said, I am very eager. I'm very eager. I've got other people that are looking. I may be in discussion with. I might be talking to this dwarf. I might be talking to one of these guys. One of these, maybe that magic user. Magic user, and that. Yeah, there's a magic user here that I'm in discussion with. And he says that he knows a dwarf that is staying with someone. And they're all thinking of getting together. So I think you should really get back to me as soon as possible. And we say, yes, we will. We're really quite interested in you, Arisa. Arisa of the wonderful name. I think we'll be back to you very shortly. But hold that space, hold that thought. As I say, we'll be very quick in our discussions with everybody else. So that's a good incentive to get the ball rolling a bit. So that's our first. So I would say that that's a success. I'll put success on there. That's it. And get back ASAP. That's an ASAP. Okay, right. So we've been told. Okay. So we've got another fighter to talk to, and we scan the rest of the area. We go up to Alara. We say, we were under the impression that there was a fighter who was offering his services. He posted a notice on the notice board. We've been speaking to the clerk of the board earlier on this morning, and he gave us these details, and he said he was in the Shadowed Helm. And she says, "Oh yes, I know him. He's currently resting in his room. I'll get one of my servants to go up and bring him down." So servant patters up the stairs. Within 10 minutes, this chap comes down. So who is this chap? We know that he's a fighter, and he's a male. So what is his name? Are we going to be interested in him as much as Arisa? Let's find out. So we'll get the old name thing out. Just love these random tables to do all this type of stuff. It's a D30 again. What's it going to be? D30 wise. What's his first name? Oh, we don't want the D4 in there. So that's 16. 16 is Arisa. Okay, that's not fantastic, but there you go. And then we'll do the column for the table. So that's column 2, and the D30, and that is 10. That's a 30. So Trueheart, Trueheart. Well, that sounds encouraging, doesn't it? Trueheart. And what's his alignment when we're thinking about it? So on our table, we're saying that his alignment's going to be based on this split. So what is he going to be? Ooh, he's a chaotic fighter. Oh dear, that's not good. So let's find he is chaotic. Where's he from? Where do we dare ask? Maybe the interview's over already. Don't want. So he's a human character who originates from one of these. So where's he from? He's from the kingdom as well. So maybe he knows Arisa. Maybe they could be rivals. Who knows? Maybe they're enemies. Maybe that's why they don't share the same space at the same time. So he's from the kingdom, he's chaotic. So our first chaotic character, or defined chaotic character. And what's his archetype? Get the old D10 out. Let's find out what we got here. So what is it? Oh, all right. So I think I know what an archetypal one is. And it's what all good fighters want. Leader. So, in a chaotic sense. So virtuous, inspiring, and often a formally trained leader. Driven by ideals and a sense of duty, they inspire others to greatness. Now, we do have these archetypes, and they seem to be shaped around a lawful character. So let's see what the dynamic is when we have a chaotic archetype. So maybe he inspires, potentially he has just got this charisma and he has this authority about him. And he inspires loyalty through his ability and his display of his relentless drive, following his code, whatever that code is. And this is what inspires others. A combination of fear, a combination of admiration, a combination of respect, lots of different factors. So not just the straightforward, yeah, you're great, you can walk on water, you're like a saint. He has a far more complex. So this is as complex as I'm going to get in BX, about a kind of tragic, maybe it's a tragic anti-hero type. He is a leader, so that is, it's a very good archetype to have. Do we want a chaotic leader in our party? It's just not really sounding like he is top of the bill just now, does it? I think all the things are going. So let's get back to our checklist. So he has one of three reasons to be here. So let's find out what he has. He's between adventures and resting. So that's a negative reaction modifier. So he's tired, he's been adventuring. That's a -1. Okay. We'll apply the charisma thing. We'll have, in fact, what we'll do with this one, I think what we'll do is we'll have, instead of Tamsin doing it, we'll have Yorick. Yorick is a fellow fighter. I think he needs to just basically eyeball this character. So I think we'll have this one in black. He is basically giving him, he's a sort of level stare, and saying, "What is your metal?" Maybe this guy's exuding a lot of charisma and wow power, but Yorick, he is a protector. He is there to protect the interests of the party. He's going to show that. So what does a protector do in a negotiation? Probably just clouts the other individual over the head with his mace. What's it going to be? Protector in a negotiation: firm, honest, focused on protecting interests, not easily swayed by tricks. Well, I am not going to tolerate any nonsense from you, Trueheart. You don't sound like the type of person that we want to be. So I think we're just going to go through the niceties of this. So we're going to have no charisma thing, because Yorick isn't very great on the charisma, so that's +0. Alignment is an issue, because they're different alignments, and he is opposite, so that's a -2. He's lawful and this guy's chaotic, so that's a -2. Same origins, they are from the kingdom, so that's a +1. And we're applying the current situation, which is -1. And discernible archetype negotiation impact. Well, I don't know if it's got a positive or anything. He's not going to suffer any kind of tricks or whatever. I think maybe in this situation it might actually be quite negative, because he probably, from he just realizes that this guy is chaotic, and he thinks, I just can't work with this. I can't work with these materials. It's just not going to happen. So I think that's going to be a -1 on the archetype. It's not really looking too good, is it? We haven't even done the negotiation, but let's see what we say. Well, we don't actually have an objective just now. We don't really know where we're going. Is that going to be an issue with you? And let's see what Arisa says to that. He says, I really like to know where I'm going first. I don't really, Have you not got any idea where you're going? So that's a -1. So let's just jot all this up just now. We're on -1, -3, +1. So that's -2, -3, -4. So we're at -4 without even offering any terms. So to get a 9, that's impossible, isn't it? So we'd have to offer all sorts of stuff. I don't think we're going to. I think what we'll do is we'll just do the basics. We'll offer let's say we offer equal shares. Yeah, we'll just offer equal shares and see what he said. I think we're onto a bit of a hiding here. We'll offer equal. So we'll have +1 for equal. So that's a -3. I don't think we have a chance really, but let's just roll to see what we get. You might get a 12. It might be very amazing. No, 3. So in fact, if anything, we probably get a bit of enmity, because if that's -3 plus, yeah, -3. That's a 0. So a 0 on our reaction table is pretty bad. So I think, if anything, we've actually got an enemy that we've generated from maybe our rather cavalier attitude of dealing with him. But he is a chaotic, and he's got all these factors against us, and this just shows you how this all stacks up. And the fact that different alignments, they don't really get on at all. And if I play the alignment card up to the full, which I think I'm going to do in BX D&D, and I think I should, because that surely should shape your whole moral outlook. You know, the fact that we have different alignments, they really will determine just exactly how you accept and how tolerant you are of different points of view. So I've got instant enmity, now enemy, violent behavior. So we're not going to do the violent behavior, but I would say that we have now got a bit of an enemy. You know, he has taken a bit of he's maybe feels quite snubbed by us. He just doesn't feel that we've really taken him seriously, and he is a serious character. He's used to being the leader. He's used to calling the shots. So he doesn't really say it in so many terms, but he does kind of, he gives Yorick a bit of a cold stare, and he says, okay, well, it has been nice talking to you. I am sure we will meet, cross each other's paths in the future. I have plenty of opportunities. As I've said already, I am resting after quite a successful adventure. I'm not really at liberty to tell you any of the details about it, but I'm sure we are past. If you're ever in the Shadowed Helm, you can always, in the future, you can always buy me a drink. Ha 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 ha. So we kind of we think, all right, that was a bit of a lucky escape. So we can, I think what we can do is we can say that was a fail. And we are going to discount that candidate. And also, we've got an enemy, or we've got a bit of enmity. So that really hasn't gone according to plan. So, yeah, so that's not great. Okay, so let's get back to the adventure. So after interviewing both fighters, the characters decide to check out the thief. Unfortunately, they must gird themselves and face the prospect of entering the Drunken Dragon. Oh no! Oh dear. So this is probably the worst fear, the Drunken Dragon. So they say, right, come on, let's just get it over and done with. It's not going to take long, and we might even get this thief. However, why is the thief in the Drunken Dragon? does not bode too well. So the Drunken Dragon, the tavern is a squat building nestled between larger and grander townhouses. It is made from darkened timbers and has an inebriated black dragon on the swinging signage. So there's this swinging sign outside with this drunk-looking black dragon on it. Whatever that looks like, that's on the sign. A rather disreputable establishment. It is characterized by a rough and tumble clientele, loud jaunty singing, cheap ale, perhaps the occasional whiff of something unpleasant. Great. It's got real curbside appeal, this place, this establishment. The innkeeper, well, it gets even better here, because I can remember me jotting all this stuff down before coming up with this. The innkeeper is one of three rather unsavoury and hardened individuals. Roll for who shouts a greeting as we enter. Is it going to be Ma Evangeline Fenwick? Try saying that after a few beers. A scarred, brawling pragmatist. Ma Fang rules her den of iniquity with an iron club and an insatiable hunger for coin, readily trading information or lives for profit. Oh my goodness, what is going on? So that's the first one. It gets even better. Silas the Serpent Vain, a gaunt, manipulative coward. Silas expertly pulls the strings of his patrons through secrets and illicit trade, never getting his own hands dirty while profiting from others' misery. Oh, that sounds terrible. It's very Dickensian here. It's something out of Charles Dickens. We're just expecting some, was it that dog in it? It was old or what's his name? Griselda, the grinning ghoul, Grimfang, an unsettling, morbid prophetess. Griselda presides over her in reveling in and actively cultivating depravity and despair while dispensing cryptic, dark pronouncements. What a terrible place! And this is supposed to be the establisher of the culture of the place. This is who we've got to deal with. So what's it going to be? What a choice! What's it going to be? It's the ghoul. It's that prophetess. We've got this really. Oh, I'm going to have to definitely have a very dark heart here. She says, "Oh, what are you staring at? Get in, come in and close the door behind you. Don't you know it's cold out there?" She's giving us all this kind of, and she's doom and gloom and saying, "Oh, I can the end of the world," and and all this. The place is an absolute state. So, carefully navigating their way to a corner booth, the characters catch the attention of a drone-like serving wench or man. They can't really tell under the filthy clothing and the dirt-ingrained skin, and order a round of drinks. Okay, well, let's at least go and get the beers in. Scanning through the murk and trying not to elicit any unwanted attention, they spy in the opposite corner a fellow fitting the description. He is also eyeing them closely. So he's watching them, this chap in the corner. He wanders over, pushing a drunken patron aside, and sits himself down at their table. Ooh, the presumptiveness of this individual. He smiles. "Well, what took you so long? I've been waiting for you to come around." Is he going to be so direct in the future? We get the feeling that he has been observing us for some time. We decide to open the negotiations. "We are in need of a burglar. ... So the story goes on. Repeat our process. The oppressiveness of the environment. So I've got an environmental impact here. The oppressiveness of the environment and the constant distractions from drunken residents or catcalls from leering lechers makes the negotiation more difficult than normal. So I'm saying we roll a 1d4 and -1. So what are we going to do about the place? The place is an absolute dump. It's full of better term, riffraff, scum of the earth. 2 -1 is one. It's a filthy dump, but I can hold my nose, and we have a -1 to the roll. Okay, so the situational modifier for this is a -1. It could have been worse. So we'll do a double page spread on this. We'll have number 3 as our thief, male. We've got a situational. It's a -1 for being a filthy dump, but I can hold my nose. It could have been worse. It could have been, this place is absolutely disgusting. -2 to roll. I can't stand it. Get me out of here. -3. Or the characters brush it all off. Business is business. We haven't really achieved that. We do find it a bit disgusting. Okay, so let's have our negotiation with this individual, and we'll find out his details. So first of all, we get our name thing out. So let's find out, has he got a suitably impressive thief name? He sounds quite forward. He really is a cheeky chappy who has basically forced himself forward on our attention. So has he got a suitably cheeky name? That is going to be a 22. So that is Alden. Alden. It's a bit kind of neutral. Alden. And let's find out what his surname is. He is going to be column 1. So that is a 4. Oh no, that's 14, sorry. Surname 14. 14. Fellhammer. Oh, okay. I don't know if that really suits. We might have to have to give that a bit of a change. Fellhammer, that sounds like something a dwarf would have or whatever. We don't really, they're not really dwarfs, but you know, some warrior. So maybe there is a reason why he's called Fellhammer. Maybe he uses a bit of a, he uses a hammer as a tool. I don't know. I'd have to check what the actual restrictions are. I don't think there are restrictions on weapons in BX, but let's find out. The alignment of this. Now we've got this special disclaimer in alignment. Remember, if I just get back to my master sheet. Thieves are much less likely to be lawful, so make it an even split for determination. So we really have to go with the territory with thieves. They're not going to be just all like nice law-abiding citizens, because they're not. But this one is a lawful individual. So that's a good start, lawful. The origin of this individual, where they're from. We get a d6 for this. They are on a 4. So 4 is, oh, they're all coming from the kingdom. So there's a lot of exports from the kingdom. This Westmark is part of the kingdom, really. It's a border region. So you'd expect most, you know, if there were people coming from the outside, they're probably most likely to be from the kingdom. And his archetype, what's he going to be? He's going to be a 1 to 10. Let's find it. Roll that first. 8. And what is an 8 on our chart? Eight on our archetype chart is survivor. So, can we be a survivor? An 8 survivor, fighter or an elf only. So a survivor, just so that you know, is more at home in untamed wilderness than in cities. They possess keen survival instincts, tracking abilities, and a deep connection to nature. They might be distrustful of civilization. So I'm saying that can only be a fighter or an elf. So we have to roll again. So what happened, did I say? This is the core identity and role the character plays. For each character initially assigned using a d10 roll, if this generates a restriction, select the closest alternatives and randomly determine multiple options. Okay, so he's a thief. So what can thieves be? They can be a rogue. They can be an outcast. They can be an innovator. And they can be a charmer. So that's this one. Outcast, innovator, charmer. Right, so if I was going to do a probability and I say a d6, I would say 1 to 3 rogue, 4 to 5 outcast. Oh, sorry, 4 outcast, 5 innovator, and 6 charmer. Let's just put it down more to the rogue archetype and see what we get, because that seems to be more likely. So what is he going to? He is going to be a rogue. His archetype, rogue. Now, a rogue means that he is resourceful, independent, and perhaps morally ambiguous, good at getting things done through unconventional means. They excel at stealth, trickery, and finding hidden advantages. Perfect. Just all you'd want in a thief. Morally ambiguous to boot. So that's a good start. So where else are we at? We're at a situation. So we'll find out what the situation of this individual is. So I'll just get back to our original sheet. Where we've got to roll, see what he is doing. See between adventures. Is he just whiling his time away? He is a 3, which is looking, all right, so he's looking for practical experience. So he's really in the business. So that is a +1. And we get a positive modifier. We're going to have some recruitment going on. So shall we put our A team in? Get Tamsin. We didn't really have too much joy with Yorick doing that. So let's do Tamsin again. So we'll have a charisma of +1. We have different alignments. So we do have different alignments, but there's no negative. So the alignment is +0. The origins, we have different origins, so it's going to be +0. We're going to have the archetype. Now we reckon that she was, with her archetype and her persuasive charms, she'd get a +1, so we'll put a +1 in. We've got the discernible archetype, negotiation impact, and the objective. Yes, we have to find out. We say, well, we don't actually know where we're going. Is that a problem? You know, most people would say, yeah, it probably is a bit, actually. He's a 6, so he's a deal breaker. So he says, no, forget it. Yeah, you don't know where you're going. It's just not good enough. I'm out of here. Come back when you have a serious proposition in mind. Okay, so right, so stalled at that point. So you've seen it here. He is his attitude is deal breaker. All right, so we're going to have to come up with a better offer, or maybe we're going to have to come up with some information. So he says, right, okay, if, you know, I am interested in being recruited to a venture. However, I need to know where I'm going. I need to have a bit of surety. You know, that to me, that is very important. I must know. If you can come back to me and we'll do the time thing. 1d4 -1 days. So is he going to be harsh on this? No, he's going to say 3 days. Come back in 3 days. I'm available here at any time. You're just going to have to come. And they're saying, can you not choose somewhere nicer to stay? We don't have to come in here and talk to you. Maybe we can meet on neutral grounds. Can we send a message to you and you can come over to the Golden Griffin? I'll tell you what, that's what we'll do. We will give you a note. We will send a notification to you that we have ascertained a location to go on an adventure to. We do have the required information, and then we can continue with our negotiation thereafter. And he says, that sounds fair. I have some questions I need to ask of you as well. You do seem like quite an interesting bunch of characters. I think we could work well together. However, I am a bit pernickety when it comes to this type of thing. I've been burnt a few times where we've just traipsed off into the wilderness. We haven't really had a clue, and we've ended up with character deaths and all sorts of mayhem. I don't want to tempt fate twice or 3 times. You will understand. And they say, well, we do appreciate your patience, Alden. We will get in contact with you anon. So we decide, okay, right, let's cut our losses and get back to the plan. So we repeat our process. We've had the oppressiveness of the environment, so at least we won't have that next time. So once they've finished the negotiations, the characters are only too happy to leave the establishment and head back over to the sanctuary of the Golden Griffin. However, do we suffer an unfortunate event while leaving the establishment? Oh dear. So let's roll a d4. Now, it's such a place that we are going to have some form of event. It's just what is the rating on the scale? What's it going to be? It's going to be at number 3. So number 3 is on my little charts. It is the landlord or landlady takes a dislike to our snobbish attitude, and a torrent of abuse follows us out of the door. So we get all this. I can't really recreate this on YouTube. I'd probably get the videos struck down from and when you fill out all these things, you have to put in whether you use foul language. I don't use foul language anyhow. I am very respectful. Oh, by the way, happy 4th of July to all my American viewers. I meant to say that at the start. I was just thinking of my manners, which I kind of lost. 250 odd years ago, all is forgiven, I'm saying. But you know, I've no hard feelings. You know, you took the right path. You know, independence and all that good stuff. You've made a fist of it and got on with it. So I'm saying that she goes a bit crazy with us. She's a bit mental. We managed to skedaddle out. It could have been worse. That was probably one of the more gentles. I've been robbed. A character has his or her pockets picked without noticing. Or get out of my way. A large British thug reeking of beer stands in their way. I needs me beer money. Lend us a crown, gov. So a very kind of Peter Jackson orc type voice, which is basically modelled on a Cockney English accent. And then there's a chance we catch something from the beer, and we've all got to make con rolls for 1d6 minus 1 characters. Violent sickness will last for 1d20 hours thereafter. So at least we didn't, that seems to be quite, a bit of torrent of abuse seems to be a preferable consequence. Okay, I can see the time, it is cracking on, so I am just wondering whether to adjourn here and continue with this I can do a follow-up quite shortly after this. Yeah, I think I might do that, because otherwise we're into over our territory, and it really is a bit of a, I'm probably breaking all my rules of that poll I put out saying what is the optimum time of my videos, between 45 and 50 minutes. I'm well over that just now. So what I think I'll do is I will just adjourn for the time being. I've been having a lot of fun with these characters, finding out. I've already interfaced with 3. We've had a very positive meeting with Arisa Dragonheart. She sounds a real prime candidate, but we've got to get back to her quick. She may be hot property and people are after her. We didn't get on too well with Trueheart, and he sounds like a bit of a villain. Very charismatic leader. Maybe he could cause us problems in the future, mobilizing some resistance against us. We've made a bit of an enemy there, I think. And then we've got maybe this rather picky thief, Alden Fellhammer. But he's given us quite a bit of time to find out whether we can come up with the goods on the location to go. And I think if we can get him off these awful premises of the Drunken Dragon into somewhere nice like the Golden Griffin, I think we could really blast him with a charm offensive and recruit him. So we could potentially have a thief and a fighter. We've got this elf as well lined up. We could be actually spoiled for choice. Is the elf going to be a nice addition to the party too? Okay, thank you very much for joining me on this. As I say, I will get straight on the back of this. I'll do another video and we will find out how we get on in the Golden Griffin when we get back there. And also I will introduce things like my first place in mystery and give you an idea of just how all my rumor mechanics are going to be operating in the background. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.